What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Watch Darius TV. I'm back with another review, and this one is of P-Valley Season 2, Episode 10, Mississippi Rule. This is the season finale. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. You already know. Man, this episode was crazy. They really set up, in the previous episode, like I said, they really set up the finale. I love that. And then this episode was a really good way to tie up the season because this season was really good. A lot of good writing. The writing has gotten even better. The twists and turns and stuff like that. Everything has gotten better in this season. You know what I'm saying? The episode starts with Andre and his wife, Brittany. They're basically fighting over Autumn. Brittany caught Autumn and Andre and stuff like that making out, and she's furious, even though technically a few episodes ago she was caught cheating on her husband. So, she acts as if she deserves it, and he basically says, yeah, you deserve to see me cheating because you cheated. So, sort of back and forth there. He says that he's basically in love with Autumn, and she claims to still be in love with him. And they basically talk after Autumn leaves. Corbin completely comes in and kills the mood, but it does seem like there might be still possibly a little bit of love between these two. So maybe most likely next season we might see their relationship kind of get back together, because we already know what happens to Autumn at the end of this episode, but we'll get to that. And then also Little Murder's about to perform. Before he gets on stage, he looks in the mirror, and the mirror is completely cracked, showing different versions of him. This shows that basically is that he's like divided as a person. He doesn't know how he feels, just completely divided. He gets on stage, and I thought at first when he get on stage, he was going to probably come out and just speak his truth, but he doesn't. He starts spitting a freestyle, basically making references to killing Pico. Maine is in the crowd, and he definitely doesn't like that. He's looking at him like, yo, I'm going to basically Swiss cheese him, put a bunch of holes in this dude. But Mercedes, she also gets on stage. She does her thing. She completely shows out, gets on stage, stuff like that. I end up looking at the DB credits, and they say that they had a stand-in for her. So I was wondering, because at first I'm like, the woman kind of doesn't look like Mercedes, but we've ended up actually finding out that it is Mercedes on stage, and that was her actual final performance that she's been trying to do since the end of the previous season. So she finally got a chance to do it, And then we also find out Patrice, she ends up winning her campaign this episode. Now she is the mayor of Checalisa, or I hope I pronounced that right. But yep, she is the new mayor. Andre is also find out. Andre basically they say he said something about moving back home, and he's gonna pursue his law firm. So he's completely moving on from politics now, and Ernestine is still alive also. We saw Clifford crying and stuff like that at the club and stuff like that. He was worried about her, because she had COVID and all sorts of stuff like that. But we end up finding out that she lived. I honestly thought she was going to die this season, but it's a good thing she survived. Her character is hilarious. And then we see Krishan. She has her money. She's happy. We see a scene of her. She's just completely happy and stuff like that, until a turn of events happen at the end of this episode. Like I said, I'll get into that though. Clifford has a scene with Little Murder, basically, where they're in bed, and he tells him that he can't come out, basically. He can't come out to the world of who he is and stuff like that. It's better for him to just stay in the closet, basically, is what he says. And Murder, he doesn't really agree with that, but he, sort of lets it slide for now, and he ends up going to the bathroom, and, that's how that scene is. And so still sort of slowly building up to what happens at the end of this episode, but they're really kind of just having tension because they don't like the fact that he can't be who he is to the world. So he's complaining about that throughout most of this episode. It bothers him, you know what I'm saying? And Clifford is like, yo, this isn't a good idea for your career. Clifford doesn't want to hold Murder back and stuff like that, and wants him to be the best he can be, and you know what I'm saying? And it's really a slow build up to what happens at the end of this episode. Patricia, why do I keep saying Patricia? Patrice takes her office and basically she gets on TV and plans to, also when she gets in office, she completely throws away all that Kyle, all his other stuff, the guy that was previously there, Wayne, she takes his stuff down and completely throws it out. And she gets on TV and talks about how she plans on ridding this town of vice, which basically we know that she's talking about getting rid of the pink. So that's not going to go well. Her new name now is also Mayor Bishop. That's a weird name, but okay. I guess it's going to work for her. It seemed like in season 3 she's going to basically be like probably the new main antagonist of that season. There's going to be some tension between her and probably a lot of the residents, because she's going to try to get rid of the pink. Kind of similar, I guess, to the guy in the first season. I forgot his name. The one that was played by, I forgot his name, but she's going to probably maybe the female version of him, possibly. She's going to cause more tension, and yeah, there's definitely going to be some problems for Clifford with her being there, trying to basically turn the whole city into a church, I guess. But yeah, that's not going to end well. So definitely, I can tell that I get a strong feeling Patrice is going to be a new antagonist in season 3. That's my prediction. Farrah pays Mercedes and sends her some money and stuff like that, and sends her a mural, I believe that was. And Mercedes basically the last few episodes been getting a huge confidence boost. Mercedes basically compliments her and stuff like that, and just gives her a good ego boost. They just basically make her feel good of her slowly transitioning from becoming a stripper to finding a new career. Like I said, a new dream, as she said in the past few episodes. Then we have a scene where a whole bunch of women come lined up to give Andre dishes. Basically, one of the women say, "Oh, they were planning on assassinating you anyway." Basically, sort of making them feel good about, trying to make them feel good about losing the campaign and stuff like that. And then Autumn shows up, which is kind of ironic because she already shows up with a dish, despite the fact that she also has a bun in her oven because she got pregnant. She got most likely we know that she's pregnant with his kid, so it's kind of ironic that she shows up there and, the wife is there too. She got a bun in the oven. She got a dish to give him also. So that whole scene is really interesting. They seem like they part ways, but she does sort of tell him that she needs him for a contract. So it doesn't show us the complete end of their relationship yet, just yet. So most likely they're still going to have some type of relationship in season 3, but we don't know. They probably aren't going to be together though, but they're going to have some type of professional relationship. You can tell in season 3 most likely. But yeah, so they're not over with. On top of it, also she got his kid. She probably got twins by him, so that's really not going to stop. So they're going to have some type of reconnect in season 3 for sure. So yeah, that's gonna really throw things in perspective when he ends up finding out that she got his kid too. So, and then also she has a scene where she calls up Georgie. I'm not sure what this woman's name. I think it was Georgie. It should be Georgie. I don't know. And the woman that she's been sort of trying to make business deals, stuff like that throughout the season, calls her up and says that the woman tells her that she doesn't need the pink anymore. And Autumn's jaw completely drops. She thought that she had this woman by the short and curlies and finds out that actually she don't need her no more. So now Autumn can't really act as smug as she used to no more. And she ends up telling Autumn that she needs the city to bring the water to her, basically, so she can do this whole casino thing. But basically, since she can't do that, the woman ends up kicking Autumn to the curb, and now Autumn she could have took the $5 million from her, but now she has negative $5 million and she has a child on the way. So basically, Autumn is broke and pregnant. We'll just see right now in this episode. Wow, things are just really falling apart for her in this episode. Poor Autumn. It's weird because I remember in the first season, it seemed like she was one of the main characters, and now she became like a supporting character. It's kind of remind me of what they did with the girl in that Orange Is New Black TV show, where it's like the main character, the Piper was like the main character, and they basically made her almost like a side character, a supporting character. But anyway, Corbin and Wayne, they seem like they're working together, and now since basically Andre lost and Patricia won, they basically now can work together, I guess, for plans of I forgot what their plan was basically, but now they're basically going to be working together, and we know that Wayne is basically evil, so and Corbin is crazy, so that's going to be a bad combination between them two. So they're going to be some new antagonists for season 3. Ernestine is back home and stuff like that. We find out also Big L is setting a party for her, so that's good. Big L is basically he just sort of got back to being hired again after being fired in the last episode, for selling drugs. So Ernestine has a welcome home party, which is ironic because I didn't see too many people wearing masks, and that's how she ended up getting sick in the first place. So, yeah, that's pretty weird how that's going to happen, but, yeah, that's weird. Clifford gets a vision of his mom while he was at home, and basically his mom tells him to reconnect with Murder. Everything is basically sort of pushing these two together, Clifford and Murder. a little murder, and we end up finding out that she died from pneumonia. So that kind of sucks. You know, she died from some type of sickness, which is ironic because his grandmother almost died of a sickness. You know, so of a virus, she says. So you know, that's pretty good that she survived. But yeah, that's basically a hint that he should get back with Little Murder. And Murder pays Krishan. Also, they meet up in a parking lot, and he pays her. You know what I mean? Because she was on the you're on the road with him and stuff like that. And before she leaves, they basically embrace, they hug, good friends. You know, a little good little scene between them two. I feel like them two were gonna die this season. I'm not gonna lie. With the stuff that Little Murder was going through, and them two, I thought they were gonna die. I'm happy they didn't die, but you know, I had a feeling that Derek may possibly stop Krishan at her sister's house when she was trying to get the kids so she can leave out. I thought that's what he was going to do, but instead he does something completely different. We don't get into that also, but yeah, I thought them two were going to die. I'm happy they didn't because they're two of the most sort of wholesome characters and stuff like that. Despite the fact that Little Murder is a murderer, but he seemed like he possibly has a chance of maybe changing himself for the better eventually. I don't know, but he's still a thug rapper murderer dude, so I don't know what's going to happen with him. And Krishan is just the heart of the show. She's the sweetest one, so you don't want nothing to happen to her. Murder shows, Mercedes shows that basically she still has skill on a pole, basically, in her scene. She has a great character development this season. Really good. I love her development of how she transitioned throughout this whole season. Yeah, her character, nice development she had. Patricia shows up and says that she will be running her church and the city. So she's going to be doing double work. She's going to be still a pastor and stuff like that of her church and being a mayor at the same time, wearing two crowns. But she does tell Patricia that she tells Mercedes that basically Shelly is going to rehab now, and Tarika can now take care of Mercedes. So finally, something good Patricia does, for once, instead of being all Patricia. So that's good for Mercedes. She can now have her daughter back in her life, and so that's good for her. I like to see Mercedes really rise up from her just completely falling down in season one finale. So yeah, and also she literally fell down earlier in the season, messed her arm up. But anyway, Clifford buys the club back from Autumn, and what is one of my favorite scenes of this episode? Clifford buys the club back from Autumn after basically making a deal with Corbin. Autumn basically really turns into a villain this season. She really shows her nasty side, and Clifford calls her out and basically just kicks her out of the club, and she just completely seemed like she fell from grace, come from being a businesswoman, very arrogant and sassy, to just completely losing it all. Nobody, no boyfriend, nothing. All she got is the baby in her stomach. So Big L and Diamond, Big L and Diamond basically hinted, getting rid of her if she don't leave. So basically, she's like, "Yo, I gotta get up out of here." So that's how that is. And Clifford has a really cool line about how he has peace, but he has no problem with starting wars. So I like that quote that he had. He has some really cool, dope lines when he wants to. Krishan finds out that Derek ends up getting the kids. Of course, took the kids from the stepmom. So that was I knew he was gonna do something that's gonna prevent her from getting away, and he does. He got the kids before she got a chance to get them. So yeah, that's how she does. That's how he got her right before she was able to get out of there. It reminds me so much of What's Love Got to Do with It. That scene where Tina tried to get away with the kids, and then the mom told Ike, and she almost got close to getting away from this lunatic. Andre goes to see his dad in prison, and I guess I don't know, they didn't really elaborate on that. Maybe there's something I missed, but he goes to see his dad in prison, so he has a scene there. And then we end up finding out that Derek calls Child Protective Services on Krishan, completely turns the tables on her. He's the one that abuses the kids, but he's finding some loophole trick to put it on her and make it seem like she's the abusive mom. And then speaking of What's Love Got to Do with It, Krishan basically finally attacks him, kind of like Tina Turner attacked Ike Turner in the limo. She just completely goes off on him, but instead, she ends up getting arrested. So, right when she was so close to getting out of there, she ends up getting herself arrested. So that sucks. Then there's a scene where Maine and Mercedes, they seem like they're about to, they definitely weren't going to really hook up because Mercedes turned them down, but He ends up meeting her daughter and stuff like that. He speaks and stuff like that, all that other stuff. And Mercedes basically Maine is mad at her for partying on, dancing on stage with Little Murder after Little Murder was basically, running his mouth on stage talking about killing Pinko and all this other stuff like that. So now her man crush is now sort of like, yo, I don't have nothing to do with you no more. Then he even hints at knowing the Little Murder is also in the closet. So yeah, really tense scene going on there. Now that the one guy that she used to idolize now look at her as like a basically a gang member. So that's kind of odd. Little Murder comes to Ernestine's party, and I already knew I had a feeling he was going to come out in this season, this scene. I knew it was going to happen eventually. It just wasn't going to end without him coming out in this episode after everything is going on. Diamond gets a call from Krishan, and basically she's in jail, and she tells him to, in so many words, to kill Derek finally. And he, of course, turns into White Knight and goes right after her. And little Big Bone sort of senses something's going on there, so she definitely doesn't like it. So she ain't feeling him like that. He's so absorbed with Krishan that he completely forgets that he's actually in a relationship with Big Bone. He's so focused on her, but that's Big Bone. That's Diamond for you. Clifford thinks Mercedes will stay stripping, but she's done. She's done with it. Also, by the way, you can tell Krishan definitely has Diamond wrapped around her finger. So anyway, but back to Clifford. Clifford thinks Mercedes is going to stay stripping and stuff like that since she got her skill back, but she's done with it. She's finally retired, and he feels like everybody is leaving and stuff like that. But she says that everybody is graduating, dreaming new dreams. Love that scene too. One of my second favorite scenes of this episode. Roulette does we catch Roulette in the kitchen in the bathroom, and she's doing a little bit of nose candy, and she ends up meeting up with one of Clifford's friends, and Roulette basically ends up deciding to do a business deal with them. Sort of have this person, I'm not sure, I think they were transgendered stripper or something like that. I'm not sure who they were, but has one of these people to work for her. So she's basically setting up her own business of having different people in the club selling drugs and stuff like that. She already was trying to turn it into a brothel. Now she's turning it into a trap house. So Roulette is really doing her thing, making her money. Clifford ain't gonna like that, but she's gonna find whatever way to do what she wanna do. So yeah, she's basically becoming a little kingpin now, Roulette. But she's also getting high for her own supply, so that's not gonna end well for her. Murder and Clifford talk, and Little Murder, we end up finding out that he's actually half Clifford's age. Clifford is like 40, so basically Little Murder's like 20 something. So he's about 20. So that's I didn't know that. Little Murder tells Clifford of his first experience in prison, and Clifford tells him about Big Teek's death, and they sort of have a heart to heart there, and. But then the scene cuts to Big L coming to pull Clifford away. Something happens, so we're like, what's going on? We end up finding out that Autumn ended up taking not even half, all of Clifford's money. So basically, it was in broken. She ends up flying out someplace out of the country. Got a new wig and everything. So, yeah, basically, Big L tells him that, yeah, we're going to have to start selling drugs in this place so to make some money. So Clifford even takes some drugs himself. So yeah, this club is going to officially turn into a trap house, as we can see. Autumn, she ends up winning in the end. Who would have known? She found some way to survive. So I don't know if she is the bad guy of the show. I don't know, but she found some way to get over, and that's for sure. Clifford parties with his mom and stuff. Like Clifford ends up going back to the party, and he's sort of partying like his mom used to back in the day. And he's partying, and Little Murder finally comes out, and everybody sees him. Everybody's happy for him and stuff like that. Even his blind grandmother sees him. So that's how it ends for them. They're finally together, Murder and Clifford. So Diamond ends up going out. He's gonna put on his Captain Save him, and gonna go take out Derek, But he ends up being stopped by Big Bone, who you can tell that was a stunt double because Big Bone, she You know, she's too thick to really whoever that was posing as a stunt double. You can tell that that was not her. She's way too thick to move that quick. So you can tell that was a stunt double they had, but it's cool. We end up finding out that Big Bone is some type of double agent. She used to work with Diamond or something like that. I don't know. Or Diamond killed somebody that she used to know back when he was in Afghanistan. They attack him, put him in a trunk. She gets help by this dude named Big Boss, and they put him in a trunk, and he has a total PTSD episode. So I don't know what was up with that. So this whole time, Big Bone was somebody undercover from somebody used to knew back when he was in Afghanistan or something like that. So that was crazy. I was not expecting that at all. Yo, this episode was really dope. I cannot wait to season 3. You already know I'm going to do a review of that next summer. Man, I don't even know how much time I got left in my video because my phone acting weird. But I already said what I think is going to happen. You know, Krishan, basically, she's going to be in prison. She ain't going to be able to survive that. She's going to get hard in prison. That pretty face is not going to be able to handle prison. Big Bone, Diamond, he going to have to get up out of this. Going to use his army ways to get up out of there. And man, and Autumn, I don't know what's going on with her, but somehow she was able to get out of there and get that money. So definitely the pink is going to turn into a trap house for sure next season. And those are some of my thoughts. I should have set it out better than this, but my phone is cheap and it's probably going to die out soon. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, all that stuff like that. Anybody that's a fan of Pink Valley, I got some more reviews coming up next summer. And thanks for watching my video.